First of all, I hope you'll appreciate the fact that I'm literally filming this wearing my pyjama top because I've just got to Glasgow. This is a hotel in Glasgow, and the train was like a literal oven, so I had like a lot of sweat on my other top, so that was just not an option wearing that one. So I'm obviously here to talk about my like experience with getting Botox and all that stuff. I don't know if this is different to how the NHS would do it. I got mine done at a private clinic at Queen Square in London. I think I made the right decision doing that because obviously I got it a lot faster than I would on the NHS. Like, I mean, it was kind of expensive. It was, I think, £550 for that one round of Botox, so obviously like not cheap. And I mean, I appreciate that's not something everyone can afford, but like, I guess I don't buy that much other stuff because I invest a lot of money into my health. You kind of have to when you're like a wee bit scuppered like I am. Anyway, I got to the place maybe like half an hour early because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't late and that I knew what it was and everything. And I'm glad that I did because I actually went in the wrong door first. And then they were like, no, that's that clinic like beside us. And I was like, oh, okay. So I went along and then I couldn't open the door. So I had to phone the secretary and get her to come and like unlock the door and open it, which is actually I think quite a lot of private clinics do, like especially like during COVID, my clinic on Harley Street, I had to like buzz myself in and stuff. So when I first went into the clinic, they knew who I was right away because I'm Scottish and I don't think they had any other Scottish patients on the list. So they were just like, are you Fiona? And I was like, yeah. And then they took me into a side room, and to be honest, it didn't look all that different to like a normal clinic at like an NHS hospital. Whereas my Harley Street clinic, like the rooms do look like really like bougie. They don't look like a doctor's office at all. Whereas like this one did. So I went in and I sat on a chair like beside the door, and I was just like reading my Kindle because I was a bit early. And then the like assistant lady to the doctor, she came along and she says, do you want any coffee or tea or water or anything? And I said, no, I'm fine. And I just waited, and then a nurse came along and she had like an antiseptic wipe and she cleaned like my forehead, and then she cleaned like the sides of my hair as well, and the back of my hair, and then like my neck and my shoulders, because obviously I got injections like in all of those places, but I wasn't expecting her to wipe my hair. Like, I don't know, it was a weird sensation, but she did that. And then they told me to lie down on like the bed thing because I've got Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and he said that patients with Ehlers-Danlos, sometimes they get a sort of blood pressure drop after they get Botox and then they end up fainting, which obviously isn't ideal if you're like sitting up, you know. And I had to just sort of lie down whilst I waited for the doctor, and then he came along and like he was telling me to like close my eyes, which is a good thing because I get like really freaked out about medical stuff happening to me. Like, I don't mind seeing it on other people obviously, but when it comes to me, like I don't really want to watch it. So I shut my eyes, and then he started putting the first few injections like around here, and it was actually really sore. I was like, like it felt like a nerve being stung by a bee, but I've been stung by a wasp, and I think it was like a little bit sorer than the wasp sting. Like the first few thingies, like it felt like I was getting little stings. But after that, it honestly wasn't that bad. I think the adrenaline sort of kicks in, like it's like when you're getting piercings, you know. So then he did them like all around here and down the sides of my head, and I heard like especially when he was doing it like on my temple and then like across here down like the sides, like where my hair is, like it sounded like little crunches, like, you know, when like you're trying to get a fly and you get like the tissue and you go like that and you slam it into the table and it makes a sort of crunchy squishy noise. It was kind of like that, so it was a bit gross, but you know, the things we do, it was nowhere near as bad as a migraine, I could tell you that. And I've got like something else that's not a migraine, but I'll get into that in a minute. So the procedure was actually over really, really quickly. Honestly, it took like a couple of minutes tops. Like, it was so fast. I thought it'd take like 10-15 minutes or something, but he was just like, you know, like you could tell like this guy's a professional. He told me he'd done it like over 7,000 times or something like that, and like that is like nothing to scoff at, you know what I mean. So after that he went away and he told me I had to lie down for like 15 minutes in case I stood up and then like fainted, you know. So I sort of lay there, and then he said I had to like get up slowly, so I got up and then I felt like alright, you know, like same as always. And I just sort of like walked about the room for a bit, and then he says like, oh, do you want any water or anything? I says, well, not really. And he says like, yeah, it's not really a question because you have to have water. He said patients with EDS, like Ehlers-Danlos loss, would have to have water just because there is so much more of a risk of our blood pressure dropping. And he knows I've got low blood pressure anyway. So he made me drink the cup of water, and then I felt okay. So he said like I was welcome to leave, like if I wanted to. And then I wanted to make sure that I wasn't late back to the airport and stuff, because I was flying out like a few hours after that. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'll just go now, and then I left. And that was a month ago tomorrow. So I guess like the question is, have I had any benefit from it? So I have something else which isn't a migraine. It's called spontaneous intracranial hypotension. I do get migraines as well, and I could tell the difference like right away. But the intracranial hypotension, that gives me like an everyday headache. And the way it works is I usually don't have a headache when I first get up, but like throughout the day I get a worse and worse headache. It's not very nice, but like I'm definitely better than I used to be because I did have like one procedure for that. I think I might need more, but I don't know. But the first one definitely helped me like a lot. I mean, he gave me the Botox to try and relieve some of the pain of that, and I'm not really sure if it has. Maybe I just need more time, I don't know. And then also to help with like the actual migraines that I do get, and I think it maybe has helped with that because I was getting migraines like every so often. And then I get like hormonal migraines, and I had my period quite recently, and I would say I think I maybe had one migraine, but I usually get them like every day. Like it's basically like every day I will have like very 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 sore head during my period, like all the time. Like it doesn't matter if I'm like standing up or lying down or anything like that. So I can tell the difference, and also it's just like worse. I feel like more sick and stuff. But yeah, I honestly didn't have that many of those in the past month that I can remember anyway. Sometimes like everything just sort of blends together in like a big cacophony of pain, you know what I mean? That's just how it is for us chronically ill people, unfortunately. By the excuse, there's like some sort of building work going on in this hotel, which, yeah, I don't think I'll stay here again. So yeah, that's pretty much it, how it went with the procedure and my review of it so far, I suppose. So I really hope that people found this helpful, and that if you're going to get Botox, maybe you're like a little bit less apprehensive now about it. So bye.